Winston O'Brien, 3-star Blue Stripe, proposing the Omni fruit production plan by the Jackson Task Force.
Professor Alexander Andals proved that he could survive long-term on only a special type of citron fruit that he crossbred from different types of berries for generations. In his journals, he predicts that the only negative side effects he would face were stomach issues and cavities from too much citrus juice. And thus he thought he would only survive 5 years locked in captivity on this special fruit he dubbed Andals fruit. He lasted 10. But autopsy showed that he was correct, and not only could he survive living on only Andals, he would flourish. And now, I've found a way to counteract the negative side effects of too much citrus, and crossbred it time and time again until I created the Omni fruit, a berry that gives you all the nutrients you need in a day and eases your hunger. An actual solution to the statewide famine of the precinct.
You have it?
On the counter.
The task force was 10 years ago. Get over it, Winston.
7 years ago.
You're short a few hundred.
It's what I got.
Well, I told Mom that I'd have all of it. I bet you don't even care if Dad dies.
It's what I got, Dixon. If I had more, I'd give it to you.
Mr. Blue Stripe isn't living the life they thought they wanted, just sitting in some fancy apartment idolizing some dead female. She was a criminal. She's lucky she died. Otherwise, she would have ended up in jail for the rest of her life.
Conway cut our funding. I'd have all the money in the world.
Quit blaming President Conway and just scam me the rest of the money when you have it. And get rid of this Omni fruit plant before I call the STARS gendarmerie on your ass.
Winston O'Brien, in the flesh. It's been a while since you made it out here in person. Thought you didn't like me or something.
Nothing like that, Miss Tarragon. I don't get out much is all.
All right, Mr. O'Brien, if we're being formal. What can I do for you?
I got a bunch of potted trees a couple of weeks ago. I found something in the soil. I was wondering if you could tell me about the distributor.
Hey! Are you stealing from me? Oh, sorry. Must have just hallucinated and the chemicals must be getting to my head. I think I need to close up shop for a bit and get my head on straight. Yeah. Everybody out! Come on, you two, come on, especially you. Come on, hurry up, go, go, go. Hi, you back there? Oh, hi, yes, you can keep those for free. Okay, come on, let's go. Chemicals getting to my head, I'm very high, let's go. Closing up shop. So those are free, you can have those, just take them home. Please leave, thank you. Come back tomorrow. Not you. It's a static cider, made from the leaves of a modified oleander. Really puts a shock through your system, gets you through the day.
I use the oleander leaves to power a natural sunlight source in my garden. Told Stars it was solar.
Oh, lovely. So, let's see. The distributor for your last tree delivery. Mr. O'Brien, are you familiar with the history of the green stripes?
Vaguely.
In the 20s, when the red stripes were doing a lot more in-house searches, they were convinced that the green stripes were plotting to team up with the blues to try to overthrow Stars. They were right. So, the green stripes started to hide resources and messages in potted plants because they knew that the blue stripes would figure it out and the reds wouldn't. Have you deciphered it?
Deciphering codes isn't really my thing.
A blue stripe who figured out how to produce electricity from a modified oleander but can't decipher a simple code? You would have made a good green stripe.
I was trying to be. Thought I was, at least. I guess I tried hard to not be a red during the examinations. Alexa Jackson noticed. Helped me become a blue. The Jackson Task Force was the most inspired time of my life.
Yeah. Felt like we had a bit of a revolution starting. Shame what happened to her. The things people deem as criminal are truly backwards. I always liked her. So, let's see. Your last tree delivery. Oh! Here. Copy this down for you. The delivery boys must have thought they were writing down an order number or something. Looks like Mr. Blue Stripe's got a puzzle to solve.
I gotta head out.
You still need those chemicals dropped off? Saw on the delivery sheet it was unfulfilled. Thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Thanks, Miss Tarragon.
Mr. O'Brien, it's Mary.
Good morning, class. Today we're going to be going over my favorite subject, decoding and deciphers. Now, there are many different systems of decoding that you can use and begin to experiment with, but one of the simplest is A1Z26. This is where we assign a letter with the first number in numerical order. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on. I've created a puzzle here for you. 23, 9, 14, 19, 20, 15, and 14. Can anyone tell me what this says? It's Winston. The book ban is in direct violation of basic human rights to access information and ideas. It is a censor put in place by the Stars conglomerate to undermine our ability to think for ourselves. The effect of this will foster ignorance and isolation for generations to come. Citizens of the precinct should not stand for this. Now is the time to make your voices heard.
Knock, knock. Got those chemicals you ordered? Thought I would take them over myself, see how Mr. Blue Stripe's doing. Find anything else in those potted plants?
Nothing.
Didn't take you for a reader. Can't say I like your choice, but to each their own.
Yeah, they really limited Blue Stripe's access the past few years. I'm just trying to find answers.
I figured.
Coffee? I made it from some pixie mushrooms, purple stripe collected on a mission out in the wilderness.
Next time. Robert Ang. He's a fear-mongering propaganda machine.
Yeah, he's got a whole chapter about the sneaky blue stripes, demonizing symbols and codes, like some satanic ritual. I'm trying to get through it, but there's no way to tell if he's making these things up or if they're real codes and deciphers being twisted. If they're twisted, I might be able to reverse engineer them or something.
What's that?
Says they use elements and resources to conjure magic potions or write spells to protect their buried treasure.
It looks like a recipe or a chemist's table. We have one at the back of the shop. Come to think of it, it looks like an old periodic table.
Probably means Robert Angle was paid off by the White Stripes to demonize chemistry, keep the medicine prices high while downplaying the alliance with the Pink Stripes. Essentially what they did with the Omni fruit.
As much as I'd love to get into that with you, I have a few more drop-offs to do, but you keep on blue striping.
Oh, do you think you could take the Omni fruit? Sister said she'd call the Red Force on me if I kept them. Figured you could do something good with them.
I'll send the delivery boys over next week. Winston, open up, it's Mary. was right. It's the old periodic table. I got home, skimmed a couple of old green stripe history books that my family kept hidden for decades. Said that the blue stripes used to use the letters and numbers of it to hide locations of journals and objects that they didn't want others finding. The stars got privy and banned it. So, I have a kid. His name's Timothy. Timothy Tarragon. We like the alliteration of it. Thought it was charming. He's 12 years old. When he was 6, his father, Rowan, and I saw a young woman being harassed by a pair of red stripes outside of our old shop. I ran out there with this new root that we were growing, and its horseradish-like scent would knock out anyone around it for a few minutes after it was smashed. Nose plugs in, I smacked them across the face with it, and I got the girl to safety. And when I came back, they were dragging Rowan away. They woke up and beat him thinking that he did it and set our shop on fire. It's been Timmy and I ever since. And I don't know if they killed him or are keeping him imprisoned somewhere, but he's gone. And I'd love to stay and help you figure this all through, and I really respect what you're doing here, and I'll still take the trees. I can't leave Timmy alone. If the John DeMarie ever finds out, if they find out.
Thank you, Mary. You would have made a great blue stripe.
People deserve to live, not just exist. I promise to do everything in my power to end the tyrannical reign of the stars conglomerate. As long as I am breathing, I will fight to ignite the flames within me, within the entire precinct. And I hope that the next generation, my son's generation, can live in a world without fear. A world where we don't have to shiver from those who claim to be protecting us. When everything aligns, the stars will fall.
Winston O'Brien. What a name. What a name. Have a seat.
Edward Conway, Jr.
Edward. Edward. That is so 2160. So my dad's been out of time since before, well, his time. Call me Eddie. I prefer Eddie. So, I heard about some loon who was digging under the tree in the 2nd Precinct Park. And what do you know? It's the same blue stripe who discovered the omnifruit.
Are you here to take me to prison?
No, nothing like that, Winston. I'm here as a friend. Truth is, I need something from you.
What's that?
The Founding Fathers built the walls that keep us in the precinct and have been touted as heroes for centuries. The protectors saving us from the wild creatures and storms across the rest of the continent. But my ancestors, they took advantage of that and have been using that power to strong-arm themselves in position for centuries. I'm here to give back. See, my father would love nothing more than to keep the power in the Conway name, but he was prepped by his father, who was prepped by his father, and he's prepped my older brother. And eventually, his disgusting doofus of a kid will have it after him.
I'm not the right one to get involved with white stripe affairs.
My dear Winston, of course you're the right one. Because if you don't, there isn't going to be a system to change. We'll all be dead. The storms are coming. Every year they creep closer. And And eventually, the entire precinct is going to be burnt to a crisp or flooded underwater. See, that's why I started the Conway Explorers. We'll sail north off the island into uncharted territory and discover new land. A new home where we can finally get free of the trapped walls we find ourselves in at the precinct. We'll finally have the security and freedom we deserve.
What's stopping you from doing that already?
My father, he won't fund the mission. His son's silly little ventures, he said. The stripes and stars, they would rather deny the existence of the storms than risk the possibility of them losing power. That's why they killed Alexa Jackson. Disgusting how they say Alexa Jackson deserved to die because of a second abortion. That she was some sort of criminal. At least that's what stars would want you to think. Keeps you lot fighting. She was bringing change to the city-state, bringing people together. People who were starting to fight against my father. He did not like that.
She was my hero.
Mine too. Winston, did you happen to find a journal of hers while you were digging by the Tree of Deliverance? See, this was found in a secret compartment in an old blue stripe hideout that the gendarmerie took out shortly after Jackson's disappearance. It contains plans for a resistance to take out my family once and for all. And this is taped to the inside. It's a key to the database headquarters, the one that's been lost for centuries. I'm hoping there's a second journal that leads us directly to the front door.
I found this underneath the big tree.
Talked about the underground pass, the tunnel system created before the precinct walls were built. I'd heard about it before. People say scientists performed some immoral research experiments there. The headquarters is underneath the Tree of Deliverance.
So it says here, in my journal, that Alexa Jackson had a secret army hidden in the underground pass, made up of an alien race known as the Galid. And they have enough firepower to take out my father, stars, in entirety. I'll lead them to the new world, their new home, and we can sustain them with your omnifruit. Together, we'll form the Jackson Resistance. Shake my hand, Winston.